this video I'm going to show you how to make these stackable panda face cookies, so stay tuned and I'll show you how. Here are the things that I use: a stackable teddy bear cookie cutter set by Wilton, and I found that on eBay, and I'll try to link it down below if I find it online. I have here some black food coloring by Wilton, of course some white roll icing, and I have some watermelon color petal dust with some brushes. Alright guys, let's get started. Alright guys, to get started, I am going to be doing a very thin outline on my cookie. I want to sort of make it stand out a little bit more since it has so much white. One thing I wanted to show you really quickly, this does come with this extra piece here that comes with the eyes, so you can put the eyes in there. But I want to do my eyes a little bit different because I want to do a little bit more of a realistic panda look instead of these two little eyes here. So what I did is I cut out my piece of dough, and then I just switched it around like this and used this part to trim off these two little pieces. And then I did trim it off a little bit more because I found that this piece was very large, so it made it give it a big snout, and since I have these big eyes that I want to put up here, it was taking up a lot of space, so I wanted to make it a little bit of a smaller snout. So I ended up trimming it a lot to shorten it down a little bit. So now I have a little bit more room up here. So I just want to let you know, I did to trim these off. I did use the bottom part here to trim those pieces off, and I did kind of trim it a little bit more to make it smaller. So then I baked it, and now I'm kind of happy with that. I have enough room here for my eyes, so I just want to let you know that. And here's the little piece for the nose. I'm going to keep it just the way it's supposed to be. My black in a tip 1, and this is in a medium to thick consistency, and it is a very thin line that I want to do. So basically just trim the whole entire cookie if you're going to want to have this outline, and then you're going to give it some time to dry. Give it about an hour to dry because we are working with white, and you want to make sure that that black doesn't get absorbed into the white. So just basically outline the cookie and give it some time to dry. Alright, so that is it. I'm going to set this aside and finish up the rest, and then I'll come back once this is dry. So while I let that black outline dry, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the snout, and then I'm going to do my black on the nose. So what I have here in a tip 3, some white in a flooding to a little bit medium, not too much, more like flooding but not too runny, because I want to try to get this white to go as close to the edge as possible, so I don't want it to be too runny. So go ahead and fill in your white oval shape and smooth the icing out. Alright guys, so just trying to smooth this out because I try to pull it as closest to the edge as possible. So I'm going to finish up the rest. I'm going to give this about an hour and a half to 2 to dry, and now I'm going to move on to the nose. Alright guys, so now I have here in a tip 2 my black, and it is in a flooding to medium, not too thick though, but I wanted to keep it a little bit more on the thicker side than runny because it is a very small piece, and again I have to try to push the icing as close to the edge as possible, so I made it just a tad bit thicker. Alright guys, so go ahead and smooth the icing out. Alright guys, so when you're happy with how you smooth your icing out, go ahead and finish up the rest and give this about an hour and a half to dry. Just make sure that it's nice and dry so when you handle it you don't accidentally puncture your icing. So I'm going to go ahead and give everything some time to dry, and then I'll be back. Alright guys, so I gave this some time to dry. So what I have here is my white in a tip 5, and it is in a flooding consistency. I don't have it too thick like I normally have it. That's because I have a lot to fill, and so I will be using my flooding consistency. And as you may know, I do work in sections when I have a lot to fill. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this in and smooth it out. Alright guys, so now go ahead and do your bottom part, and then make sure you blend this section here in nicely. guys. So I'm gonna give this 2 hours or so, possibly leave it overnight, and then I'm gonna do my little ears, and then we can move on with the rest of the stuff. Alright, so I gave everything some time to dry so it is ready to be stacked. I started already with my ear to move the video along. I have my black in a tip 2, in a flooding, just slightly medium consistency, but still flooding because you don't want to make it too thick to where you can't smooth it out. So go ahead and fill in your little ear and smooth the icing out. Alright, so once that's smooth, go ahead with some white icing in a thick consistency. I have it in a tip 5, and I'm just going to add some icing to the back of this cookie and attach it right at the bottom, really close to that edge here, because we want to leave room for the eyes. So I want to make sure that it is centered. And now same thing with my nose, attach some on the back. And I'm going to push this to the side, to the top part, really close to the edge. So now it's nice and stacked. So now I'm going to go with some thicker consistency icing, not the same one that I used for the ears. It's a little bit more on the thicker side, in a tip 2 for the mouth. I'll tilt it to the side here so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to get close to the very tip of that nose and bring it down and curl up, sort of like a J, backwards J. And here I'm going to do another one like that again and attach it to that. And that is it for this section here. I don't want to mess up my ears. So now I'm going to go ahead with my eyes. I'm going to use the same icing that I used for the ears. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky because I don't have anything to make an outline so I can have a guideline. The eyes can be done any way that you like. You can make them circle, you can make them oval shape. I'm going to make them a little bit sort of like a jelly bean shape, which is going down like this. You can do it the opposite too, which is rounded here and more like a upside down jelly bean. So I'm just going to kind of freehand this. Going to find my center here, and I'm going to make a little jelly bean shape, which is up, down, and up again. And I'm going to start small, and if I want to make it a little bit larger, I'll just add more icing to it to expand it a little bit more. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sticking with this size right now. So I am wanting it just a little bit wider. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So now I have to do the same exact thing on the other side. Don't worry if it doesn't match perfectly. Pandas don't have perfectly matching eyes. So we're going to do the same thing here. Try to be a little bit close to that. I would start a little bit small first and then add it gradually to make it bigger. Just so you can manage it, because you could always go bigger, but you can't go smaller. So little by little I'm spreading it out to enlarge it so I can start matching the other one a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like this. I don't want to move it too much because I don't want to warp it out of shape. So I'm happy with that. Now I'm gonna give this about an hour or so to dry so I can go in with my white. I'm not gonna be sinking in my white in this. I've done it before, but I think I'm going to avoid that just so I don't get any of that black to come through through my white. So I'm just going to be on the safer side and just add the white later on. So I'm going to give this some time to dry and then I'll be back. Alright, so everything has had some time to dry. So I have here in a somewhat medium to thick consistency white icing in a tip 3 and same with the black in a tip 1. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a nice little round ball here for the eye. As you see there, it's not super thick or else I wouldn't be able to smooth it out. And then I have my black. I'm going to do a little pupil in the center. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, this next step is optional, but I did use it for this Panda, and that's just to give it a little bit of blush, just to add a little bit of color to it so it won't be so plain, but it's up to you. Put a little bit of this watermelon color petal dust, and this is not shimmer dust. It doesn't have any shimmer. This is really matte. And I have a soft brush. I'm going to use another one to take all this excess off. And I'm just going to keep going until I achieve my pink that I want. Alright guys, so that is it. I'm finally done. I'm going to just finish up the rest, give them some time to dry, put them all together, and that'll be it. Alright guys, so there you have it. Little Panda stackable cookies. These are really neat. Now you can make these any way that you like. Give them different facial expressions. To change the eyes, you can go with round or oval. I wanted to keep them a little bit more like the real Panda eyes. If you can Google some images, you'll see that they have a little bit of a jelly bean shape to their eyes, but you can do them any way that you like. You can also do the sample that comes in the box, which is really neat and pretty easy to make. Just make sure you don't trim off the pieces that I took off, because they are there for a reason. So if you want to do it like this, make sure you don't trim off the pieces. I did because I needed to have room there for the eyes, but again, you can do them any way that you like. I think these would be nice for like a baby shower or first birthday, or anybody that likes Panda. Maybe you have like an animal or circus themed party. You can throw these in there as well. They're pretty easy to make. They only require a couple colors. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't done so. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much for watching guys. And have a good one.